This isn't just a beach view, it's a cover-up. This isn't the Portugal they show you in travel guides. After this, Portugal won't look the same to you ever again. Portugal's prettiest coast hides one of its darkest secrets. And I went all the way there for my viewers, so buckle up. We'll start with the hidden fortress of the sea, Senhora da Rocha. Most people visiting the Algarve walk past the tiny cliffside chapel at Senhora da Rocha and think it's just a pretty lookout spot. But the ground it sits on? It hides a deep, forgotten Moorish story and fortress long before Portugal even existed. Beneath the chapel are collapsed walls and strange underground compartments, now sealed off. Local fishermen whisper about sealed chambers beneath the rock, once used by Moors to hide gold, relics, or even escape tunnels to nearby coves like Praia Nova. The site was originally a Muslim outpost, possibly part of a broader Algarve defensive system that ran along the cliffs. But after the Christian reconquest, the structure was erased from official records and rebranded as a holy Christian sanctuary. Erased, but not destroyed. The chapel's location is mathematically aligned with other Moorish watchtowers along the coast, possibly as part of a coastal communication grid. Fire or reflective mirrors were used to signal incoming invasions or pirate fleets in mere seconds. Some believe it was a kind of ancient radar network. Older residents in nearby porches remember a time when children explored narrow tunnels under the cliffs. Some claim to find symbols carved in patterns. Others found bones. Then, sometime in the 1960s, access was quietly restricted. The lower levels were filled with rock and concrete. No explanation was given. But here's what's rarely discussed. The name Senhora da Rocha didn't appear until well after the Christian reconquest. Some researchers believe it's not a reference to Mary at all, but a rebranded title for an older sea goddess, perhaps Iemanjá, or even a pre-Roman Iberian mother deity, who was once worshipped on cliffs like these by seafaring peoples. Local myths talk about strange lights over the water and a guardian under the rock. Fishermen still throw small offerings into the sea during storms, old habits passed off as superstition. But that habit traces back centuries to when the sea was feared and worshipped. And what about the archaeological dig? According to local records, a small group of researchers began excavating the site in the mid-20th century. They found Moorish tiles, Roman-era foundation stones, and something else. Carved spiral patterns, nearly identical to those found in North Africa and even Malta, associated with ancient goddess cults and burial rituals. Then, suddenly, the dig stopped. The team left. The access was blocked, the site was declared unstable, and tourism was encouraged to distract from the questions. What we're left with is a church, a cliff, and a silence that feels deliberate. Every piece of evidence points to a sacred, multi-layered site, Moorish, Roman, possibly pre-Roman, built, erased, rebuilt, and renamed to fit whoever held power next. The rock remembers, even if we're told to forget. And so we have Elephant Rock and theory battle between petrification proof and ancient structure. Double-arched limestone formation along the cliffs near Praia da Marinha, eroded by time, shaped by water, and, maybe, positioned by human hands long before we were told history began here. But from the right angle, it isn't just a shape. It's a message. Researchers have noted that Elephant Rock aligns with 3 other visible points on the coast: the chapel at Senhora da Rocha, the sea arch at Praia da Marinha, and the cliff pass above Benagil. A straight line connecting what used to be a coastal warning grid, a system Moorish navigators and perhaps older cultures used to monitor the sea, the sky, and maybe something else entirely. What's strange is that this rock isn't just symbolic. Elephants don't exist in native Portuguese mythology, but they appear across North African and Moorish sacred geometry as guardians, water keepers, and spiritual anchors. The arch in its shape mirrors Islamic gateways, not for entering cities, but for crossing into different realities. There are legends that at certain times of year, chanting could be heard inside the rock when the tide hit it just right. The area below it is still marked on 19th century naval maps as unstable ground, as if something below the surface shifted. Some say a tunnel once connected Elephant Rock to the base of Senhora da Rocha, now sealed, or collapsed, or hidden on purpose. But there's another theory, one the mainstream doesn't talk about. Some believe Elephant Rock was once alive. A real elephant, not from Africa, not from history, from a world that's been buried and deliberately forgotten. Look closely at the shape, the trunk, the eye socket, the curved forehead. The biological symmetry is too perfect for erosion. Fringe researchers point to the idea of megalithic petrification. Massive animals turned to stone through sudden mineralization over thousands of years. Sound crazy? The same theory appears in parts of Turkey, Utah, and Bolivia, where natural formations closely match the anatomy of massive creatures. And in almost every case, the surrounding culture created myths about giants or watchers who turned to stone after some cosmic event. What if Elephant Rock isn't just symbolic, but literal? A petrified guardian positioned at the edge of a sacred coastline? What if these weren't coincidences, but remnants of a world reset by flood, fire, or something even older? Or is it a body frozen in time, whispering a story we were never meant to hear? Next, we have what's known to locals as Smuggler's Cave. It was once a clandestine hideout for tobacco, alcohol, textiles, and secrets bigger than the sea. During the 18th and 19th centuries, smugglers used these caves to avoid taxes, sometimes evading guards at sea. But what they left behind wasn't just goods, it was mystery. Some guides whisper that contraband wasn't the only commodity hidden here. Artifacts found washed up, ancient Moorish pottery, geometric tiles, hint at earlier occupation, perhaps as a watchpoint during Islamic rule. Others mention occasional strange chants echoing through the limestone at dusk, not of smugglers, but of rituals. You enter with a flashlight and faith. You may see the shadows of carved loopholes, echoing chambers, drowned tunnels, maybe part of a hidden network stretching to Elephant Rock and Senhora da Rocha. And here you can see his curious formation locals call Chickenhead Rock, a protrusion jagged like a bird's beak. Nature made it, or so we're told. Chickenhead stands deliberately aligned with Elephant Rock, Senhora da Rocha, and hidden cave entrances, as if forming a map of silent watchers. In North African folklore, birds, especially roosters, are talismans of protection and sunrise. Some believe the Chickenhead Rock wasn't random, that it may have served as a signal marker or a warning sentinel to ancient navigators, or even smugglers using coastal caves at night. People whisper about strange acoustic echoes inside Smuggler's Cave, bird-like whistles or reclaimed sounds that bounce back as warnings. Some say carvings in nearby tunnels resemble feathers, not just erosion marks. What if this isn't just a rock that looks like a chicken? What if it is one? A creature from another age, turned to stone. The theory of petrified biology claims that under the right conditions, rapid mineralization, sudden environmental shifts, living tissue can fossilize in ways that preserve not just shape, but full form. A foot, a claw, a beak, a skull. We've seen it in frogs, fish, and even elephants, as I showed you earlier. Portugal experienced one of the most cataclysmic events in modern history, the 1755 Lisbon earthquake, tsunami, and firestorm. But what if that wasn't the first time this land had been reset? Some believe an earlier cataclysm, possibly the same flood remembered as Atlantis or Noah, swept across Iberia, instantly burying animals, villages, and civilizations, turning flesh into stone. Could this rock, perfectly shaped like a head, beak open mid-call, be more than a symbol? Could it be a preserved messenger? If we accept the elephant was once alive, then how strange is a chicken? A petrified rooster, still crowing from stone. Next is Paradise Cave, a hidden grotto with a wide skylight and water so clear it feels ethereal. Tour guides mention it only in whispers, less crowded, easier to enter. Under the waves, it connects to Algarve and the trail system through labyrinthine channels. Notice all these caves have secret tunnels and channels to other distant places. In Moorish times, some claim it was a ceremonial cove, a sacred or ritual site hidden from stormy seas. A place where fishermen left small offerings on the rock ledges, coins, shells, libations, dedicated to sea spirits. More intriguing, the cave aligns with hidden markers like Lighthouse Cave, Elephant Rock, and Smuggler's Cave, forming a coastline signal grid, possibly centuries older than Portugal itself. Divers say there is a narrow passage inside that leads underwater, unmapped by most. A cave chamber where natural acoustics create a chanting reverb when the tide hits just right. Some who've been inside claim to see etched spiral symbols, older than Moorish tiles, likely a prehistoric ritual script turned to limestone. It's like those caves were portals. We've only scratched the surface, because the Algarve is more than beaches. It's a map of forgotten forces, buried symbols, and voices trapped in caves. And if you think this was wild, Part 2 goes even deeper. Follow us. The next mystery is already calling.